It's time to empty one of the Bokashi buckets and dump it out in the compost bin. I have a 3-bucket regimen going. The first bucket on the left is the current one that is being filled. The one in the middle is the most recent one to be filled. The one on the right is the longest to be filled. I just started the one on the left a short time ago. The one on the right was started on 12/14 and was to be finished on 12/28. It is now January 3rd. The one in the middle was started on 12/29 and it was to be finished on 12th of January, so it's got another week or so to go. And the one on the left I just started, I think it is about a third full. Let's see if I can open it. It's about a third full, and it has kitchen scraps in it, and has been covered with Bokashi bran, and it's in the fermenting process. This one I won't open, the middle one, because it's in the fermenting process, and it won't be done till 12th January. This one here is the one I need to empty and take out to the compost bin, and we'll see how full that one, or how that one looks. There's the finished Bokashi in this one. The white mold is a very good sign. That shows that the fermenting process was successful. If that were black mold or green mold, it would mean the Bokashi was bad and it couldn't be used. But if it's white mold, it's perfect. It's the condition we want it. I made all 3 of these Bokashi buckets out of food grade buckets I bought at Lowe's, and with the screw-on lids. And I put spigots in them so I could drain them. It's important to remember that as the Bokashi ferments, it quits putting off liquid because all of the liquid has been pulled out of the waste of the kitchen scraps by fermenting process. So this one here will have very little liquid in it, if any at all. And you can see a very small amount of liquid coming out of this one because it is finished. The one in the middle is in the fermenting process, and it will have more liquid in it because it's in the process of fermenting, and the fermenting pulls the liquid out of the vegetables and turns it into a liquid in the bottom. The buckets have a grid in the bottom that separates the Bokashi from the liquid. So there wasn't much in that one as well. And the current bucket will have more liquid in it because it's being added to daily, and it has fresh vegetables in it that's being composted. And then again, it may not have any at all, as it turns out. There's just a few drops come out. Now that liquid that I just took out, that'll be mixed with water and then dumped onto the raised garden beds. So that's the status of the Bokashi buckets. The one on the right will be emptied and put in the compost bin. Then I'll wash it out and I'll put it back in here and be ready to start filming again. And I'll show the bucket after I empty it and wash it out. Okay, the one bucket's been emptied, put into the compost bin, and I'll show the grid that's in the bucket. This is one I bought at an auto parts store. I think it was AutoZone. It's designed to put in a bucket that used to wash cars so that all the grit goes to the bottom and not into the mixed in with the water that you're using to wash. And one word of caution, I'll tell you, if you build these buckets, make these buckets using these food grade buckets and this screw-on lid, be sure before you put the lid on that you put a band of silicone lubricant around this rubber seal that they've got on here. Otherwise this bucket will not be airtight and the process won't ferment as well as you would like. So if you go to any plumbing department, any hardware store, you'll find a silicone lubricant that's used in plumbing. Buy a tube of that or a little canister of that and just rub it around the edges of this lid where the rubber gasket is, and that will make that rubber gasket then seal tight, and you'll get full fermentation. So that concludes the update on the Bokashi buckets. I now have one totally empty, I have one full and in the process of fermenting, and one that we're presently filling. As soon as that one is full, then we'll rotate these 3 buckets, and this one here will become the one to be filled.